Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
What's up, guys? Today we are going to be doing, oh, what are we calling it?
Reality host rampage. I don't know.
Reality host Rampage. So basically, we have hosts from an array of different reality shows, as the name suggests, and we're going to have them duke it out. We see a few familiar faces, Jeff obviously being one of them. I'm pretty sure we have Julie Chen Moonves on here as well.
Yeah.
And then we got, some peeps that we haven't seen, a lot of people we haven't seen before. As I told Joe prior to this, there's only very few that I know. Like,
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, I'm being transparent here. I know a good chunk, but there's definitely a few people on here who I know the show and I know people love the shows, but I never watched the shows. But their show was maybe popular enough that I was like, I think it's worth putting them on here.
exactly. So, uh, I can imagine this might be one of our shortest review of like,
Intros.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a few people who are going to be like, okay, that's they did this show. That's cool. Moving
Yeah.
on.
All right. So
Okay,
you ready?
let's hop into this first one. With Anna Burrell, who is the host of one of my favorite cooking shows, actually, Worst Cooks in America, where they literally find the absolute worst people who just cannot cook. They're constantly food poisoning their family and friends. They're just disgraces in the kitchen. One person cooked his signature dish that he would cook for his friends and family was salmon, but he would cook it in the dishwasher.
How?
Yeah, and so he was running around on the first day like, "Where's the dishwasher?" as he's holding salmon.
Just how?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why that would even come to your decision that that's what you should do, but
That's like,
yeah,
who thinks that that's the best way? Like,
exactly. And every season, there are multiple people like that who are just have the stupidest ideas on how to cook. Um, and Anne is the one chef who is always in every season. She's always joined by a kind of like a guest celebrity chef as well. Bobby Flay, who's on the other tribe here, has been on the show as well as one of the guest hosts. But Anne is pretty much known as like the no nonsense, like get your shit together host that really is, her team's usually one of the better teams. Really is able to get people who are making dishwasher salmon and teaching them like, hey, maybe that's a terrible decision. Why don't you use a different method?
so
you
they
know,
try and make them better.
yeah. The whole point of the show is to make them to the point where they're actually cooking at like and like the final thing is usually like they'll bring in like a Michelin star chef to judge like the stuff, and they'll make like a really big kind of like they have to make like a three-course meal all on their own, like the chefs do like give them like the recipe, but they can't help the person at all. They're supposed to kind of like go ahead and do it themselves by the end. Um, but yeah, it's a really fun show. There's a bunch of seasons. I think there's like 17 plus seasons of it now. Um,
Nice.
there's some celebrity ones too. They have celebrity worst cooks in America. Those can be pretty fun as well. So yeah, I'm excited for Anne. I think she's going to add a lot of flair, a lot of fun to the season. She often will even dye her hair different weird colors as well. So yeah, we're gonna see how Anne does. It's always good to have a cook in the pre-merge of Survivor too, I think.
Just in general, a
Yeah.
happy, you know, food is food plays so much a factor into like, some people's happiness.
Mhm. Exactly. Um, Okay, moving on now to Kat Deely, who I don't know much about her. This is the first person who I don't know much about. She is one of the hosts for So You Think You Can Dance. So she is a
Okay.
dancer, so she's going to have some, I imagine, some athleticism in the challenges and stuff, especially the endurance, stamina kind of stuff. I could see her being able to hold strong in a lot of those. But uh, but yeah, she's definitely one of the what I would consider like the filler names on this list.
What's happening? I've never watched So You Think You Can Dance. I know that I can't. If last episode was any indication, uh, if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen the short, I did the Wednesday Adams dance.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I haven't seen the replay yet because we're filming this back to back. I'm pretty sure it was terrible.
It was great. What are you talking about? It would have been better, obviously, if we had the music playing behind it as well. But
You can fix that in post. Fix it in
yeah.
post.
Okay, so yeah, that's that. Cat is going to be a bit more of the wild card, I think, in here. Um, okay, next up we got Chris Harrison from The Bachelor. Have you ever watched The Bachelor?
No, sorry.
Okay,
I have a little something. I
good.
have my remnants of my snack is in my throat right now.
It's making its way back up.
No, it
Uh,
just never went fully down.
yeah. Okay, yeah, Chris Harrison. Yet again, I also haven't really watched The Bachelor, but I know it's like one of everyone's favorite reality shows.
Yeah.
I would say it's if you have a top four of reality shows like the Mount Everest, you probably have Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race, and The Bachelor is probably sits there at number four.
I had a friend who I believe it was the Bachelor. Bachelor is like the one guy with a bunch of girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who recently she was a stand-in for the Bachelor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was basically she does a lot of extra work and stand-in work sometimes. And this was one of the gigs she had where she would stand in for one of the contestants. So yeah, fun little fact.
Nice, nice. So yeah, he seems like he's got a nice smile. I mean, what I know from the reality host of The Bachelor, at least what I've known, is that he's pretty cheesy. He's very over the top in the cheese. So I wonder if we're gonna. I mean, that's what a lot of these, especially the love reality hosts, are all super cheesy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get a lot of cheese when it comes to the ones dealing with love.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you need that cheese for love or
Yeah,
for where it takes the love seriously, quote unquote.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's Chris Harrison. Um, Next up, I want to bring someone from HGTV. My mom loves this show. It's her favorite show, pretty much on earth. Hillary Farr from Love It or List It.
All right, what's that about?
So the whole premise is you got a couple who has a house that doesn't suit them anymore, but the one of them wants to stay there but upgrade the house, and the other one wants to move somewhere else to a new house. And so Hillary is the one who's trying to convince them to stay at their house. And so she renovates the house in the way that she thinks she could best use their budget to make their house better. Well, her co-host Jonathan is out there looking for a dream house, pretty much for them in their budgets.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
yeah, that does seem pretty cool.
yeah. It's a pretty fun one. And Hillary, she's like getting in the weeds and everything, like in the construction and stuff as well. And yeah, she's also pretty no nonsense. Like she's like, come on, we gotta do this. It's very into the details, very into the weeds in that regard. So um yeah, I'm excited for her. I even told my mom that she's going to be on our Brantsteele, and my mom got excited. She was like,
Yeah.
"Really? Oh my gosh!"
So I feel we got to root for her for the sake of your mom.
Exactly. She's my mom's favorite right now.
exactly.
Hashtag mom's favorites. Okay, now here's what our audience's fan favorite's probably going to be for this episode because it is a Survivor channel. We got the Survivor host, Jeff Probst.
Who? No,
Jeff
I'm
Probst.
playing. I'm playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've actually met Jeff. For those who don't know, way back before season 40 came out, where the season 40 premiere was happening, I was working at a smoothie shop nearby. And right where it was right where, it was ending and stuff, I decided to take out the trash so I can probably see if I can see any contestants or whatnot. I did see Andrea. She was being interviewed, saying that she was a three-time loser. And then I saw Jeff, and like people were in line, trying to talk to him. And I was he was about to walk away, but then he saw me, and then he was like, I was able to take a selfie with him. Told him that I used to play Survivor with toys and whatnot, and he was like, "Wow, that's so cool." Uh, so yeah,
Nice.
Jeff is no stranger to our channel. He has been on our Brantsteels before, so he's back and he's ready for action.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if he can do better before. He's had some decent outings,
Yeah,
but he's never quite had the superstar level performance that I feel like he should be pretty good on this. He's the only one here to. I mean, I guess we got Julie if we count our brand steals, but like he's
yeah,
literally in the weeds of Survivor. He should have a good grasp on this season.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, moving on now to Michelle Buteau, and she is the host of The Circle. Did you ever
Okay.
get a chance to watch The Circle?
I have not yet.
Okay. It's all about social media. And I will say her hosting is a lot more minor in the circle, I'd say. Like she has some voiceover like lines about what's kind of going on and stuff. But she's not like Jeff Probst, where she's in there like with them all the
Yeah.
time with the challenges and everything. Um, I don't know. I never watched season 2 or 3, so maybe she got more hands on as this show progressed. But at least first season, yeah, she was definitely a little more kind of in the backgrounds.
Hmm. Well, I guess that sometimes as a show finds its legs, you know, and also the host, kind of finds their hosting vibe and whatnot. Like if you look at season one of Survivor,
Mhm.
Jeff, how he did it, he was very, very straightforward when it came to a lot of stuff. And his showmanship really started to show in later seasons. Not saying he was a bad host in the beginning whatsoever, but he was more so finding his kind of like style and what he was bringing with Survivor and that synergy.
Yeah, I think he's even gone on record saying like those first 3 seasons is hard for him to watch because of him.
I understand. Like I
Yeah,
even said that our first Brantsteele ever was hard for me to watch because I thought I was so terrible at hosting that episode.
yeah,
Even my earlier stuff that I've done on this channel, I'm like, just or even me as an actor, some of my earlier stuff, I'm like, oh God, no.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, it's just natural, you get better over time, and then you start having a new standard that once
exactly,
that it's your standard when you start off, you don't really have much of a standard. You're just kind of doing whatever.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, that's Michelle. We'll see if she can manage to not worry about not being on social media, and she
Hmm.
can get into the game here. Um, okay, this next grouping, I am going to actually introduce him and someone on the other side because they're kind of a mixture. They are a couple. It's Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey.
Okay,
Um, yeah, yeah. This is let me get up here real quick. Yeah, this
love
is
is
from Love is Blind.
yeah.
Yes. Have you watched Love is Blind?
It's like they don't know what each other looks like, basically, and then they see each other, and then they can decide whether or not to stay or not.
He, even more so, they have to propose to each other without knowing what each other look like.
That's no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like they have 10 days where they're isolated from each other, where it's only guys in one half of this house, girls in the other half of the house. And then there are these pods where they can talk to each other, but they can't see each other in there. And so they have 10 days to basically find someone who they want to marry for life.
I mean, it's like look, you need definitely more than 10 days. Even my dad,
Yeah,
like my dad waited 2 weeks before proposing to my mom.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually a true story, people. It did not last, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's one of those crazy things. I definitely see the entertainment value of it,
yeah.
but
I think it's a guilty pleasure of mine for sure. But I don't really care about when they leave the pod because then it's like you just kind of see them go on a vacation together. Like it just becomes like these couples now having to like live with each other pretty much up until their wedding day, and I'm just like, it's just like the whole premise of the show is blind and like the pod stuff. So after like episode 3 or 4, they get rid of that because the 10 days have passed and then they got to move on. um, but I think it's very cheesy. It's fun. It's
yeah,
got some fun here. And yeah, Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey, they are the couple that kind of host it all. And their job is pretty much just to constantly be like, don't you also want to find love like us?
yeah.
We have love. You can also find love. And after the first season, people do get married and are still currently married from the show. So they're now like, it works. It's proven now. This works.
You know, I don't want to wait. I don't want to say waste my shot on reality TV because, like, sometimes once you're in one, you're able to get in a bunch more.
Yeah.
But we'll see. As I draw closer to 30, if I need that, you know,
Yeah.
to find a GF slash wife because
Yeah.
a
I feel
lot's
it.
thinking.
It's so weird too because when they're in the pods, there's 10 guys, 10 girls, but not all 10 guys and 10 girls are going to find someone that they want to marry by the end of the 10 days. So you get there's a lot of times where one guy or one girl has like 3 or 4 people from the other side who really want to marry that person.
Well,
So
well,
there becomes a
dang.
lot of really like heated like stuff where someone's gotta decide, and they do choose people who are like they have some really attractive people, they have some not attractive people, and there's a lot of just like they don't know until they finally propose, like if they might actually have any physical attraction towards them.
Yeah, I mean, so fun fact, guys, I actually went on a dating podcast once, and it was kind of a similar premise. No marriage proposal or anything. It's like if the basically there's two bachelor or bachelorettes, um, and there's one person that basically chooses between the two. They answer a bunch of questions. I was one of the people, competing for love, and you know, all our stuff was off and everything. So it was basically on our, basically she was judging based on off of my personality, his personality and stuff.
uh
I did win, but I didn't end up going on a date with her because she ghosted me. But I did
yeah.
win and I got paid.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, that's all that matters. Is getting paid for that.
Just
But
kidding.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. So some people do almost within the next day break up with the person that they just proposed to.
Makes sense. I
there
don't want
have
to marry someone I just known for 10 days.
Yeah. Well, they do technically, you're supposed to propose, and then you have like 30 days to get to know them. And in that 30 days, they like send them on vacations. They go to like different countries to like go on vacation. They make each other them live together. Like they say, okay, choose one of the households, and you're gonna have the other person move in now.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they do try like to give you more time after the initial 10 days, but I mean it's still not like you've locked into this. Like some people are just like, well, I want to be on TV as long as possible, so I'll just kind of keep being in this
Yeah.
relationship until like maybe a few days before the wedding.
Well, I mean, like at the end of the day, you can stay engaged for as long as you want. Like,
Yeah.
uh, there have been people that have been just fiancés for years and whatnot that
Yeah.
just never, or like, sometimes I don't know anyone personally where they broke off an engagement.
Uh,
Well, anyway,
yeah. Yeah. But the wedding day is also set where it's on the same day. So everyone who agrees to get married will be married on the same day, same location, and all of the contestants who are in the pod are also attending the wedding, including people who are into one of the other people. Like there's a love triangle or something like that. Those people are going to be at the wedding.
well, so no, not signing up for this one.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, I feel like you have to really like say, man, I need to get married now in order to like want to be on the show. Like if you're just being on the show to be on the show, it is a terrible idea.
We'll see where I am when I'm 29 or 30,
Yeah,
maybe.
there was someone who got on as like 23 or 24, and they were entering the show.
You know, each their own, but personal, would you ever join the show, Joe?
No, no. I mean, yet again, I'm probably closer to where you were at, like I don't know, mid 30s, maybe. Maybe it's like okay, I'll just do it. But even then, I don't know if I'd want to.
I love how
uh,
we're spending so much time on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this one's an interesting one. Like
It is,
this
it
this
is.
is I like honestly, if you want to just like watch some really funny stuff, like it is really interesting. They also have international versions, like the Japanese one is like super wholesome. Like it is just like
Aw.
it's one of the best like it's almost like a rom-com anime in a way. Like it's just so very wholesome. Everyone really cares about each other, and then you get into the American one, and there's a way more like, man, I can't wait to get in that ass.
Oh, America.
Yeah,
Oh, America.
yeah, you got just like stupid like stuff like that, and it's just like, wow, that is America.
Uh, all right.
Okay, so that's Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey. We'll see if their relationship ever gets to meet up with each other. We're also on
Yeah.
edge of extinction, so they could be the Boston Rob and Amber. Also, spend time on the edge.
How about no? Because I don't want anyone to have to reflect basically Amber's reputation on that.
Okay, moving on here to Padma Lakshmi. I don't know how to say the last name here, but she is one of the hosts for Top Chef. Um,
Okay.
and at least I kind of did a little bit of research on her. She was kind of cast on Top Chef to be the pretty face. Like that's kind of a lot of these reality shows, they like to have the pretty face kind of person.
Yeah.
But she not only is she pretty face, but she's also like the Simon Cowell of Top Chef. She's very
Ooh.
harsh. She's very brutal to everyone. Like winning it, like if she says she likes something, that means she actually really likes something. Like it is very hard to get her like approval on the show. So yeah, she's very hard to please, but by doing that, it makes everyone kind of almost want to please her. Like they try really hard to get her to like her.
Nice. Nice. All right. Uh, yeah, I haven't seen Top Chef. The only
Mhm.
cooking reality show I've ever seen is Hell's Kitchen because uh, my roommate is a big fan of Hell's Kitchen. So like
Mhm.
I'll if I'm around and he's watching an episode, I'll watch with him because yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. Gordon Ramsay, I just decided not to put him on because he was on something previously, and I just felt like Jeff Probst and Julie Chen I felt were like necessary just because they are like
Yeah.
from the Goliath reality shows.
Yeah.
Whereas Gordon, we had a few other cooking people on here already. I was just like, I think he can sit this one out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's Padma. Moving on now to TJ Lavin from The Challenge. And I know you've watched The Challenge, so you
Yeah.
know a little bit about him.
Yeah. He was a BMX biking professional, right? Then
Yes.
he got into hosting this. Basically his personality, he is kind of like I don't want to say broy, but he
Hmm.
has that kind of like, man I don't want to say like manly like
Yeah.
but like manly, kind of like that almost frat like kind of like, sense of
Yeah.
humor.
I would say
Um
like Jackass, like he could fit
yeah,
in with the guys of Jackass.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of funny when he gets to mess with the contestants a little bit. He'll like laugh
Mhm.
along and all that.
Yeah.
Um, he still keeps it like professional when it's time to, like when it comes to people like leaving and whatnot. He is like respectful of that.
Hmm.
Um, and I will say an interesting thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, but he was like, you have to make this much money in order to qualify from to run my final. Where it was like his final, not the challenge's final, his
No.
final.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Uh,
he's taking complete claim for the finale of the season, pretty much.
exactly. Uh, which is kind of interesting in the sense like I don't think less of him, or I don't think he's like you think you're that big that you just get the final. I mean, he's the host and he just
Yeah.
says that, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, and
uh
the show's been running now for a very long time. He hasn't always been the host. They have had other people host the show actually. Um,
okay.
yeah, The Miz, he was on our Brantsteele. He has hosted the challenge before.
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, because he used to be The Miz was on the challenge at one point, like way long ago, and then they ended up bringing him back as a host for a little bit. Um, but most people, when they think of the challenge, they are thinking TJ.
Gotcha. All right,
Yeah,
well.
that's the Kama tribe here. Let's move on now to the Manu tribe, where we're starting off here with Ben Glebe. I wanted to pick someone from a game show, and I chose a really stupid one I find funny but really dumb. It's called Idiot Test.
Okay.
And the whole premise of it is there's like this big like board that people can like touch, kind of like an iPad almost. And it will be like a simple question of just like touch the red ball, and then there'll be a bunch of things that could be misinterpreted as red ball, and you have to quickly find the red ball that is it's specifically talking about, or like whatever it's asking you,
Yeah.
and do it as quick as possible. And it's two teams of two facing off against each other. um and it's a really good because it forces people to immediately make a decision. um and then afterwards Ben Glebe, who's a comedian, basically can just like look at them and just be like, you really thought that was the red ball? What about this thing? Look at this giant red ball right here. You thought this was it? You're like, and like can kind of like, and that's why it's called Idiot Test, is to really like show off like, hey, like if you actually take your time to look, it's very easy. But when you're put on the clock, it can be a lot
Yeah.
tougher.
Yeah. Or sometimes we overthink things as human beings. I know I think so
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not funny,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. He's got a very dry sense of humor. He can be very sarcastic. I wanted someone who's going to bring a little more comedy on the season. Because we do have a lot of I would say serious people, or self-serious people. Want to have someone here who is going to be telling some jokes along the way.
All right. Nice.
Okay, okay. Next up, we got Bobby Flay. Mentioned a little bit before, but he's just a host of a lot of cooking shows.
Yeah.
He's almost Gordon Ramsay light. Like he's doing a bunch of stuff on the cooking channel all the time. Um, and I will say, when he would face off against Ambrell and Worst Cooks in America, I'm usually rooting for Bobby Flay. Actually, I think he's a very nice guy. Like he's very down to earth. And yeah,
Yeah, Bobby Flay. I know because of reputation. Because not only that, like correct me if I'm wrong, but like Iron Chef was like his big thing
yeah,
for the longest time, and he even called out Gordon Ramsay's like, "Hey, yeah, try me an Iron Chef," which that would give Bobby Flay home field advantage, as one video pointed out to me. But
yeah,
this is guy. He's not only a host, but he has been like a contestant as well. So
yeah.
he understands reality shows from both aspects of it.
Yes, exactly. So I'm excited to see how Bobby Flay does. He is their chef on this team. So should hopefully carry some pre-merge goodwill.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Next up, we got Jillian Michaels from the show The Biggest Loser, which was one of my other guilty pleasures when I was growing up.
yeah.
Um, yeah, they just bring a bunch of people who are overweight and are looking to improve their life by getting in shape. And Joey Michaels is one of the hosts and is usually the captain of the red team. And she's the one that I know when I was a kid, I was like, man, if I ever somehow found myself on that show, I would not want Joanne to be my person because she's so like in your face. She's so like she's doesn't take any bullshit from anyone. She's the one that does push people probably harder than the other
Yeah.
person who was hosting.
I so back in the day, I never watched The Biggest Loser, but I did have my mom bought The Biggest Loser workouts DVD.
I fucking had that too. The what was it? I guess I had it on the Wii. They had a Wii game with it.
No, this was a workout like DVD.
Yeah,
Um, I believe they had like the easy one, the medium one, and then the hard one, and it was like the same clip, but it was like they would just add to it for the medium one and the hard one. And I believe she did tackle the hard course. I think the blonde lady taught the easy one. The guy took the medium one, and she was the host of the hard one.
yeah,
I could
yeah.
be wrong. This is something like 10 years
Well,
ago or
yeah,
more,
yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
her reputation was like when they would first announce who's on whose team, it would every time someone said were told they were on her team, they would go, "Oh, they were like they were really like it was scary. Like the other guy is very much more about like yoga, meditation. Like he incorporates a lot of that into his routine. Whereas she's like, no, you're going full sweat all the time until you're pretty much unable to move.
I do like that teaching style though. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think she's going to be someone definitely good for the physical challenges on here. It's someone to not lose pre-merge.
definitely, definitely.
Okay,
All right.
moving on now. Take her away. You know her.
Since I've actually watched more seasons than you of Big Brother.
Yeah.
We have Julie Chen Moonves, and she is the host from the very beginning of Big Brother USA. Fun fact: yesterday I just started watching the very first season of Big Brother.
Oh, really?
It's very,
Yeah.
very. It's not. It took
Yeah. I
like
was,
six. It took 6 episodes to get into them voting for people and whatnot, but
uh,
most of the episodes are shorter. But
yeah.
because also it was 2000s, they would have there some hour-long episodes were half recap of everything that has happened up until that point.
Yeah.
Because like with the nature of the show, yeah, it did like the live internet feeds and whatnot, but like this was still when the internet wasn't in every household, basically.
Yeah.
And it's not as like so entwined with our culture as it is was back then. So I would say it is a little, I wouldn't say rough getting through because there is some like really cool reality TV moments in there
Mhm.
that I appreciate. But like, yeah, she's been there from the beginning. She's always been graceful. She's always been a nice presence throughout it. And she's always been a very, kind and open host. Yeah, so I do like Julie Chen of Moonves. I brought her before for our celebrity like for it was celebrities too, right?
I
Or our
think
first
so.
celebrities.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, she's been on it now a few times.
Yeah,
Because there's
and
a
also
another reality show thing she was on, I thought. Or yeah, it was Jeff Probst versus Jolie that we
yeah,
had that kind of
Survivor versus
season.
Big Brother one, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so she's been on our channel before. The closest she's ever gotten was the first celebrity one she was in, and she lost to Snooki.
Mm,
Oh wait, it was Celebrity too, because I remember the first one we did, we didn't really have
yeah.
a theme to it. But when we did it the second time, we had entertainers, reality stars, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
athletes.
Yeah. It was celebrities too.
Yeah. So here she is. There's no Snooki she has to worry about. So
Uh-huh.
I think she'll have a good time.
Exactly. Hey, maybe I should have put Snooki on here. She is a host of Jersey Shore.
She's not a host. That's like saying that Kim Kardashian is the host of the
I,
Kardashians.
I mean, I would say Kim Kardashian, keeping up with the Kardashians, I feel like it's presents her point of view very often.
Uh, maybe next.
Yeah,
We
maybe
bring
next time.
Snooki back.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think we should not do that though. But okay. Moving on here to Phil Keegan from The Amazing Race. And Ryan, I was thinking about this recently. We should totally apply to The Amazing Race.
If you want, I'm down.
I would totally apply to The Amazing Race with you. I think that would be so much fun.
It would be. Oh man. Earlier this year, well, not earlier this year, 2 months ago, I did a scavenger hunt with some friends of mine. It was at a Halloween party, and it was a scavenger hunt, and it
Uh,
felt like the Amazing Race. We did end up winning
uh,
that game. It was me and my fellow cats from Halloween Horror Nights, and we ended up winning. We were like going all over, the northern part of Los Angeles, Sherman
nice.
Oaks, Burbank, NoHo, and like taking pictures with stuff for the scavenger hunt, and we dominated.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I'd be down. I'd be
Yeah,
down.
yeah, exactly. Reality podcasters like that can be our shtick. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah.
Um, that being said, I have watched one or two episodes of The Amazing Race. Not to do of lack of interest. It's just more
Mhm.
so I haven't necessarily gotten around to it.
Yeah.
Maybe after I watch all of Big Brother, that could be my next thing. I do know a few people from The Amazing Race.
Mhm.
As I've said before, I know the winner BJ because he played Pokemon Go, and he was in one of the raid groups I did quite
Mhm.
a few times. So he even came
Yeah.
to a play I was in. Um, and a supervisor of mine from Horror Nights is really big friends with James from
Mhm.
who was also in the Challenge USA.
Mhm.
So like one of the winners of the Amazing Race slash, that. And
Yeah.
if you watch my vlog from the 43 finale party, you see Leo in the background.
Yeah.
I'm a little sad that I didn't get to talk to him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there was a lot going on in that party. I wasn't in the VIP area, but because there were some people, I'm like, man, Wu was there. Would love to meet Wu. I could go on forever of like,
Yeah.
but I had a lot of fun with the people I did interact with.
Nice.
I will say.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact about Phil here. He was in the hunt for the host of Survivor. Um,
Oh,
so Jeff Probst managed to beat him. So we might see a little bit of that also brewing. Maybe it might come into fruition.
I don't. I feel like no. I feel like because both of them have very well established careers in their own
Mhm.
respective reality show, I feel like Phil would probably be like, it was probably for the best, you know.
Uh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
Okay, that's Phil. Okay, moving on now to RuPaul, who is the host of RuPaul's Drag Race. Have you watched much of RuPaul?
I have seen him in different stuff, but I've seen one episode of RuPaul All Stars because I was over with some friends and they were big fans of it, and I watched one episode. But remember way back, I brought a contestant from Skin Wars. RuPaul was a judge on that show, and she would be, um, very prominent. They always brought RuPaul to be, a judge there because, great entertainer,
Yeah,
great personality.
he's got
Um,
some really fun, sassy remarks. Quite
yeah,
often, like he just off the top of his head, he's got some something good.
yeah. I do know an old Starbucks coworker of mine did work for Ru for a little bit. I don't know if he keeps up with that job, but my coworker was, I think he was a PA or something on one of the seasons, at least.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I never watched too much RuPaul. I did see the SNL episode with RuPaul that came out this season. But yeah, that's it's more like I know the name. He'll make like a cameo appearances here or there and things that I'm watching or something more so than I've seeked out the shows that he's hosting. He is though hosting one of my favorite game shows that's making a comeback, Lingo. Um,
Ooh,
it's going to be on Paramount Plus. And
not sponsored.
yeah, exactly. But I love Lingo. It's a very simple. There's a five-letter word, and they only know the first thing, and they have to say five-letter words that go with it until they match up and figure out what the word is.
So basically Wordle, or
Pretty
what I
much.
understand Wordle to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So yeah, that's that. Okay, moving on to maybe one of the most iconic hosts in television history. Everyone just knows him as someone who's it just seems like he hosts something at all the time. We got
Yeah,
Ryan Seacrest, obviously started with American Idol as when that became a big phenomenon. They just
yeah.
started giving him different gigs left and right after that. Probably the most busiest man in Hollywood, at least for many, many years.
Oh yeah, like he's like I'd say a go-to host. I think
Mhm.
BoJack Horseman even was like they have a character that is like a Ryan Seacrest type.
Type, yeah. He is the what you imagine a host would look like.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Like look at Nick Lachey. This is just a young Ryan Seacrest.
it does, I do see the similarities. And I mean, American Idol was definitely there have been a lot of singing shows in the past, and like I'd say American Idol, I'd say The Voice is basically what kind of like dethroned it in recent years. But
Mhm.
like American Idol was like one of the big ones that started off the singing show craze in here in America.
Yeah.
Um, and early 2000s as well. Like, it was such a big hit and everything. I mean, they brought the show back from the dead. When
Yeah.
Simon Cowell left, they still kept going and stuff. It's such a big phenomena within I'd say like American TV like competitions that
Mhm.
even if it's not like, what we would consider the big three, it is still highly respected. And I know I've worked with someone who he didn't make it onto the show, but he did make it on an episode in the audition rounds. So yeah.
Nice. I mean, everyone's got to remember "Pants on the Ground," right? Remember when that song became the biggest song ever?
No.
It was this old 50-year-old guy. who who came on and was singing a song about what you gonna do with your pants on the ground, pants on the ground, pants on the ground, looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
it became it blew up. It was on like every news outlet for like and for like a year. This guy like coasted off of fame for basically failing that audition of singing that song.
Jesus. Well, good for them. Good for them. All right. Now,
Okay. Next up, we got Tyra Banks, who is the host of America's Next Top Model. Also hosted one season of America's Got Talent, but I'll be honest, when she did that, it really felt like she was clocking in and clocking out. She was not invested in that season.
I don't know. Like I have seen episodes of America's Next Top Model, not for the
Mhm.
reasons you think. If my
Yeah.
mom was watching it or my grandma and like I was hanging out, they had a marathon going on, so like sometimes I'd watch because it is a show about pretty ladies and like,
Mhm.
I didn't mind watching it. Uh I think one thing, even if you're not familiar or if you've never seen an episode of the show, Tyra Banks, one being the
Yeah.
host of it, as well as the freak out uh, she had with one contestant where, she was like, no, we were all rooting for you and everything. And it was like, you don't know what I've done to get from where I was to where I am today. Family Guy did a little spoof of it
Mhm.
where she ended up eating the contestant. But,
Yeah.
it is it is an iconic scene in television history.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, even when she was brought on for America's Got Talent, like I never watched the show, but I knew who Tyra Banks was. Like she was one of the people who did create a name, even if you haven't seen the show.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, and then we've already talked about Vanessa Lachey, so I think we're good here on this tribe.
All right. So who
Okay,
would you say are for the Manu tribe? Like, this time it's not me versus you. So like we can
yeah,
root for whoever and no,
whoever,
not
yeah,
worry.
it
I
doesn't
won't
matter.
who would you say are your top three on this tribe?
Well, obviously, I'm rooting for Julie. I feel like
Yeah.
I gotta root for her. I would also say I'm rooting for Ben Glebe. You know, I think he's a less known person. I think it would be fun to see him make it far. Um, and then I'll go Phil Keegan.
All right. All right.
Just because if Phil wins, I say we definitely apply for Amazing Race.
We'll do
Honestly,
then
I'm down for it regardless, but
yeah. Then I would have signed up for the Holy Trinity
yeah,
of the CBS reality TV shows.
exactly.
um yeah, I'd say for me, I'm rooting for Julie Chen Moonves because that's like the second I would say that's like second on my list of reality shows that I watch.
Mhm,
RuPaul because I've watched him in a bunch of different stuff, and like I said, great personality.
mhm.
And then I will say Ryan Seacrest because I'm rooting for a fellow Ryan.
Yeah, I guess that would put him over the top for you.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on now to the Kama tribe. Who are your top three here?
All right, I got to root for Jeff Probst because obviously, and
Yeah.
then because I don't know too many people on here, I'm gonna say TJ Lavin mostly because the challenge, and
Mhm.
then I'm with you with Hillary Farr because you know for Joe's mom, we got
Yeah.
to
Yeah, you just named the three people I was going to name, so
noise.
I think yeah, we know what we want over here.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it. Edge of extinction time. Okay, Padma found the advantage menu. So she can either steal the reward from the winning tribe, use the parchment as an extra vote, or use it for individual immunities similar to a hidden immunity idol. And it expires after the third tribal council. That's not her third tribal council. They've
Yes.
clarified that now. It is just first three episodes.
It was a big thing for Edge of Extinction because Ron got it and he didn't need to use it at all because,
Yeah,
he was on a tribe that just never went to tribal council.
they dominated.
Exact.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go here. Nothing, nothing. Let's see who is the first tribe to win immunity. And it is the Kama
Yay!
tribe. They also win Flint. Okay. So Padma not having to use her advantage menu right off the bats. And Nick and Padma bond strongly.
All right, nice.
And then she rested campus for energy. This was a Padma episode so far, even though she's not going to tribal.
I mean, it looks like she's going to be a forefronter.
Jillian and Vanessa bond strongly.
All right.
And Jillian is impressing the rest of the team. Ben and Tyra bond slightly.
All
And
right.
a new alliance forms between Jillian, Julie, and Vanessa.
All right.
Okay, so
Nice.
Jillian and Vanessa making some work here, pulling in Julie. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
It's really tough to say. Maybe because I think it's going to be Ryan Seacrest, mostly because I was like, I'm rooting for him. I think it's going to be him or Bobby Flay.
I was going to say Bobby Flay, so I'll say Bobby. First vote goes to Bobby. Second vote goes to Tyra. Third vote goes to Tyra.
Oh my.
Fourth vote goes to Tyra. Fifth vote goes to Bobby. Sixth vote goes to Tyra. Tyra is
Ah,
voted out in a 7-2 vote, and she is continuing on Edge of Extinction.
just a little too late.
Yeah, so RuPaul teaming up with Tyra. I mean, makes sense. Those are both beauty show kind of
Yeah.
shows. So
But man, I wonder what was the point of that alliance. I guess like they were an alliance, but then they kind of were like, no, the numbers aren't with us, so bye.
well, wasn't that alliance that was Joey and Vanessa, right?
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. Tyra is on the edge. And Anne finds the Kama tribe hidden immunity idol.
Nice.
Okay, so we got two potential idols to be played on this side. And Julie finds the Manu tribe hidden immunity idol.
Nice.
That's good. That's good. Okay, and the Manu tribe wins immunity. They also win spices, knives, and a cutting board or a fishing kit.
Okay. Let's see.
Does Padma use the idol? Probst and Padma have a small fight.
She's like, I know how this game is played. You
And then
have it.
they find something in common after fighting with each other.
That's how some
And
friendships
then they
bond.
form an alliance.
Friendship.
Oh my gosh. Padma,
I think Padma appreciated Jeff calling her out and stuff, and then it was like,
yeah.
I like you. I
Yeah,
like you too.
he was excited because it was like, wow, we actually have a fight on Survivor nowadays. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen. And works hard, can't becomes tired. So far, Padma feels like main character energy on this track.
definitely.
They're giving her
Definitely.
all the contents. Oh, and then that alliance dissolves.
Well, that was very short lived.
Yeah, with the shortest alliance, and I mean, it was a unanimous vote, or pretty much. Only RuPaul was left out. It wasn't like they needed to band together to get rid of someone.
No, this one's a little tough to say because we haven't really seen too much from it.
Yeah,
It can be
uh,
anyone, honestly.
yeah. I'm just gonna say Chris Harrison. I'm just gonna throw out a name.
I'm gonna say Nick Lachey, mostly because like I don't think just in a sense to weaken the other tribe because they have a Lachey.
Yeah, true. Okay. Anne uses the hidden immunity idol.
All right.
First vote goes to Anne, does not count. Second vote goes to Anne, does not count. Third vote goes to Anne, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Anne, does not count. Fifth vote goes to Anne, does not count.
All right.
Sixth vote goes to Anne, does not count.
Oh gosh.
Seventh vote goes to Michelle. Michelle is idled out on episode 2.
Dang. Well, good for Anne for playing it right.
Yeah, Anne, Jeff, and Padma
Ooh,
get in the play here.
that's not
Okay.
good.
Okay, we now have 2 castaways on the edge. Okay. Nothing here. Let's see who wins reward. And the Manu tribe wins reward. They win a choice between comfort items or 3 hens and a rooster. They choose the comfort items.
Nice.
And they win immunity because of that. Not looking good for Anne.
No.
Votes could just easily get put right back onto her.
Yeah.
Padma is impressing the rest of the team again. Or I guess
This is her
she's,
last chance to use the items or the
yeah,
advantage
true.
menu as well.
Anne and Hillary bond slightly. Kat and Probst bond strongly as a new alliance forms between Anne, Kat, Hillary, Jeff, and TJ.
Well, that's the majority, so
They have the control. This could does Pat. I think Padma needs to definitely use this idol, so she should be safe.
yeah.
Phil and RuPaul find something in common. Ben and RuPaul have a minor disagreements.
It's like they're both fans of something and then they totally disagree on how it's handled.
Yeah. Jillian is impressing the rest of the team as a new alliance forms between Jillian, Phil, RuPaul, and Vanessa.
Both Jill and Vanessa, they're definitely making the moves,
Yeah,
definitely playing that social game.
definitely, definitely. They're trying. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna say Nick Lachey.
Same, same.
Yeah. Okay. She's not using the idol. She's using the extra votes. So she will
Interesting.
vote one extra time.
It's like, no, I feel like the idol. Hmm.
Yeah, I think that was better, but maybe she thinks that it's a 4-4 split and she can just get one vote to do it and not have to guess who they're voting for.
Okay. I don't think maybe it's a long term game thing, but at the same
No.
time, the safest bet is, the idol.
Yeah. First vote goes to Chris. Second vote goes to Chris. Third vote goes to Nick. Fourth vote goes to Chris. Fifth vote goes to Chris. And Chris is unanimously voted out.
I guess, all things considered, it didn't matter anyway. It was the advantage was
Yeah,
going to be burnt anyway. So,
exactly. Yeah, I guess it just doesn't really matter. It was one of those just she had it. The game didn't really need her to have it.
yeah.
Okay, 3 castaways as we get into our twists. Okay, we got 3 new tribes here. The
Jeff
new
and
Kama
Julie.
tribe. Yeah, Jeff, Julie, Nick, Padma, and Phil. Even Phil here. We got, I would say, the 3 major reality shows on one tribe.
Fascinating. Nice. Nice.
Exactly. Could be some trouble for Nick and Padma if we do get like a threat alliance here of the major reality shows.
But yeah, we'll see. Um,
Okay. And then the new Manu tribe is Ben, Bobby, Kat, RuPaul, and Ryan. So Kat is only one from her original tribe.
uh-oh.
That could be some trouble there, as the new Lesu tribe is Anne, Hillary, Jillian, TJ, and Vanessa.
I don't think. I think I know Anna and Hillary were in that alliance.
Mhm.
Like, was TJ there? I think he was, but at the same time,
Uh,
if not, this is either a sweep of Vanessa and Jillian, or TJ could swing.
uh,
So we'll see.
yeah, I mean, I could see him and Jillian get it on. Jillian being kind of more the badass girl who's going to kick butt in the challenges. He likes
Yeah,
a good challenge beast. Who knows? Maybe Jillian and Vanessa can swing that vote over.
we'll see if they go.
Yeah, true. Because yeah, we only have three more tribal councils until the merge, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing's really going on here so far. Let's see who wins immunity. Leicester tribe wins immunity, and the Manu tribe wins immunity.
The big three are going.
Yes, the big three are going. As Nick Lachey finds the Kama tribe hidden immunity idol.
Uh-oh.
We have two idols here now. At a new alliance force between Nick and Padma, so they are teaming up.
This is not good for Jeff.
Yeah. Bobby and Seacrest bond slightly. And TJ has a major meltdown
Just why? Oh,
as
wait.
Vanessa leaves this alliance.
Okay.
Okay, that's that. Okay, well, Nick and Padma have teamed up. Julie and Phil were on the same tribe. Jeff needs to hope something miracle happens to keep him in this game.
Yeah. This is
Maybe
not
he
looking good
maybe
for him.
he does team up with Nick and Padma and take out Julie or Phil.
He was already in alliance with Padma prior to this,
Um,
so we'll see.
okay. First vote goes to Julie. Second vote goes to Phil. Third vote goes to Julie. Fourth vote goes to Phil. One vote left. And
Ah,
Phil, the tribe has spoken.
well
Okay.
then.
The first of the major three sent to the edge of extinction. Phil and Probst.
Oh, so he better hope he doesn't have to go next time or the next two times.
Yeah, he could be in some danger.
Yeah.
Okay. Phil finds an advantage he can practice for the next re-entry challenge.
Nice.
Michelle finds an advantage and can assign an extra vote to a player attending the next tribal council. She plans to give it to Padma on the Kama tribe, RuPaul on the Manu tribe, or Hillary on the Lesu tribe.
Okay.
Okay. No one raises their flag. Okay. Nothing here. Nothing here. Let's see who wins reward. Manu Tribe wins reward. They win peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jelly, a loaf of bread, and ice cold milk.
Nice.
Nice. The Lesu Tribe wins reward. They win peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Cool. And the Manu Tribe wins immunity, and the Kama Tribe wins immunity. Jeff Probst really needed that win.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh.
Okay. Padma is impressing the rest of the team. What's new? RuPaul is impressing the rest of the team on the Manu tribe. And Anne and Jillian find something in common.
All right.
Jillian and TJ bond strongly.
Jillian's social game so far has been very, very good.
It's been very strong.
All right. I could see them flip on Vanessa.
Uh,
Um, I feel like that's the only person that really doesn't have anything going for them right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I think this is also a good move for TJ to take out Vanessa here and keep Joey in as like that extra person going into
Yeah.
like a merge scenario. Yeah. Okay, Hillary uses the extra vote power. Hillary will vote one extra time.
Nice.
First vote goes to Vanessa. Second vote goes to Jillian. Third vote goes to Vanessa. Fourth vote goes to Vanessa.
And that's it. Yeah.
And Vanessa unanimously voted out. And she obviously is choosing to continue. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Final tribal before the merge.
This is an important one.
Okay. Michelle finds an advantage and can penalize another player for the re-entry challenge. Um. Okay, and I guess we'll figure out later.
Yeah. The time of.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was just confused because I know in the actual season, Keith finds it and it's immediately like, I'm using it on Chris. Chris is going to be the one to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Jillian finds the Lesu tribe hidden immunity idol.
Her game just keeps going up and like wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, the Kama tribe wins reward. They win pastries, cookies, coffee, and tea. As the Manu tribe wins reward, they win coffee and cookies.
Hmm.
Who wins immunity? The Lesu tribe wins immunity. The other two tribes will be going to tribal.
Yeah, it's that major it's that merged kind of like, joint tribal council where it's one
Mhm.
team versus the other.
Exactly. Um, no events occurred on the Kama tribe. As RuPaul works hard at camp, I guess they're just deciding to use strategy at tribal. I think they're just like,
Yeah,
what's the point of talking here when we don't know what's going on with other people?
exactly.
And Anne is impressing the rest of the team, and Jillian and TJ bond slightly. And TJ leaves that alliance of his original
Whoa.
tribe,
He is
and
smitten.
yeah, and Anne and Hillary form an alliance together.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it
All
does.
right.
It does seem like TJ is like all in on the Jillian train now. Okay. Now, who goes home here? Now, if you just went by tribe numbers of who of how it is right now, it would be either Jeff Probst, Kat, Nick, or Padma getting voted out here. But that's not always the case. Like, you
Yeah,
know, Manu maybe sees someone as a potential threat for the merge and says, "Hey, let's just get rid of this person now."
exactly. Because they know that it's somewhat around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they don't know that the merge is next episode either. So like
Yeah,
they're gonna try and weaken the other team.
yeah, exactly.
Um, Jolie has an idol, so there's always that. Padma
Yeah,
no longer has any advantages.
yeah. Nick has an idol.
Yeah, so you know, it really depends on who they target and if
Yeah,
someone's willing to use their advantage on someone else if they are the target.
yeah. Yeah, this could go a lot of ways. I mean, we've seen this a few times. The combined tribal is just it's chaos. It's
It
anyone
is.
could kind of go.
It is.
Okay. First vote goes to Bobby. Second vote goes to RuPaul. Third vote goes to RuPaul. Fourth vote goes to Bobby. Fifth vote goes to Bobby. Sixth vote goes to RuPaul. Seventh vote goes to RuPaul. Eighth vote goes to Bobby. One vote left. And Bobby
Ooh,
Flay is taken out right before the merge. Okay, he's choosing to continue. So let's see how this played out. Julie, Nick, Padma, Probst, and RuPaul voted Bobby. Then Bobby and Kat and Seacrest voted RuPaul.
Okay, okay.
Okay, let's go here. Bobby arrives on the edge of extinction. Six castaways are on the edge. Who do you want to come back into this game out of these six?
You know, for entertainment purposes, I would love for Tyra Banks to come back. A first boot coming back and hell to pay.
uh,
Um, I understand why Vanessa coming back because her hubby's still playing. But I would have to say Tyra is probably my number one out of the bunch. Phil being a second place.
yeah, I think I'm rooting for either a Phil or Vanessa return. Just because Phil, Amazing Race, it would be nice to have the three like
Yeah,
main ones be there. And I think Vanessa was playing a pretty good game before she gets voted out. Um, so yeah, she kind of just got swap screwed into a terrible position.
yeah.
Michelle penalizes Vanessa. No,
She was like, oh yeah, Joe, you want Vanessa to play?
no,
No.
no. And Phil wins and returns to the game.
All
Honestly,
right.
worth.
We got the big three with the CBS big three back at it.
Exactly. And he gets two halves of an immunity idol, and can potentially form a full one.
No one raises the flag. That's always good.
Yeah, yeah, they're all still in it.
All right. So we have these 13. Um, I'd say that Jillian is probably playing the best game out here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd say, yeah, obviously she's the front runner for me.
Mm-hmm.
TJ is having like some, is her number two, and like, he's kind of leaving his old alliance for that. Jeff also has a really good alliance with Padma, even though he was kind of like outside, that's still there now that, the numbers are kind of better. um, Padma, having an advantage
Huh.
earlier on, could put a target on her back though. Nick
Yeah.
has an idol, Julie has an idol. Um, and then yeah, so going forward, we can see what might go, but like those are like the big names so far for me. And
Yeah,
obviously Phil coming back is, really great for his game.
yeah, I feel like Padma has that main character energy. She's it seems like every time that we're focusing on her tribe, somehow she's got something going on. And it's
Yeah,
usually positive. Jillian does have the social game. I think she's managed to kind of get TJ um, to kind of be her number two right now. Um, but yeah, I think I'm excited. We got some idols here that need to get played.
yeah,
We do already have a proper idol play by Anne, so we
yes.
can't forget about that. Okay, moving on here. Phil transfers the half idol to RuPaul, so RuPaul has the other half. Okay, let's move on here. And Nick Lachey wins the first individual immunity.
Nice.
Good on him. Good on him. Um, okay. Joey and Seacrest have a major fight.
Ooh, I don't like Ryan's chances against that.
Yeah, I think Joey has way more power than Ryan has right now.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be Ryan off of that. Okay. Jillian uses her idol on RuPaul.
All right, let's see what happens.
First vote goes to
Oh,
Seacrest, a misplayed idol. Second vote goes to TJ. Third vote goes to Seacrest. Fourth vote goes to TJ. Fifth vote goes to TJ. Sixth vote goes to Seacrest. Seventh vote goes to TJ. Eighth vote goes to Seacrest. Ninth vote goes to TJ. 10th vote goes to TJ. 11th vote goes to Seacrest. And TJ is voted out in an 8-5 vote. This is actually really bad for Jillian's game.
Yeah. I don't
Not
know.
only
I
did
feel like
she,
she still has some like, leeway. I guess we have to see where the votes lie.
yeah, but I mean, she loses an idol. She loses who she had was as her number two.
Yeah.
As like your merge boot, that you do not want to lose your number two at the merge.
No. Yeah, this is
So
a pretty bad, but I mean it's still she can still recover a little bit.
yeah. Anne, Ben, Kat, Hillary, Nick, Padma, Probst, and Seacrest voted TJ, whereas Jillian, Julie, Phil, RuPaul, and TJ voted Seacrest.
Man. Yeah, I was not expecting that.
No. Yeah, I thought TJ had more legs in this game. Okay, now he's on the edge. Vanessa finds two advantages. She can practice for the next reentry challenge and can also assign an extra vote to a remaining player in the game and gives it to Ben, not her
Not her
husband.
hubby?
No.
Odd.
Maybe she wants him to be on the edge of extinction so that way they can be together.
Honeymoon.
Yeah. Okay. Um, RuPaul lets Phil have the combined hidden immunity idol, so he does give it back.
Nice.
And nothing going on here. Let's see. Group number one is Anne, Kat, Hillary, Jeff, Padma, and Seacrest. Group number two is Ben, Jillian, Joy, Nick Lachey, Phil, and RuPaul. In group number two wins reward. They win Chinese takeout delivered at camp.
Nice.
Cool. And then who wins immunity? Phil wins immunity.
All right. All right. Nice. Good going.
Good on him. Okay. Joy and Nick bond slightly. And Hillary leaves the alliance.
Oh.
Okay, she's out. She's got her a closer relationship with Ange. I guess she just doesn't want Catter or Probst anywhere to deal with that.
Hmm. I don't know. I'd still say it's a bit maybe Jillian.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I could see them just take out Jillian here. Okay, let's see here. Nick did win an immunity, so maybe they target Nick here. Jillian, oh, I mean, Julie uses the Manu tribe hidden immunity on Probst.
Nice. Let's see. Was it played correctly?
First vote goes to Seacrest. No.
No.
Oh man, the people are just playing idols now. It doesn't matter if they're right. They're just like, I just want to play it. Second vote goes to Seacrest. Third vote goes to Nick. Fourth vote goes to Nick. Fifth vote goes to Seacrest. Sixth vote goes to Anne. Seventh vote goes to Seacrest. Eighth vote goes to Nick. Ninth vote goes to Anne. 10th vote goes to Anne. And Seacrest is voted out.
All right.
Okay. Let's see here. So Ben, Kat, Jillian, Julie, Probst, and RuPaul voted Seacrest. Nick, Padma, and Seacrest voted Anne, and Anne, Hillary, and Phil voted Nick.
Why did she play it if she knew she had the numbers? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe this was just to get Probst in on with Julie for the rest of the game. Maybe it's more of a goodwill kind of thing.
Hmm.
Okay, Seacrest arrives on the edge. No one raises the flag. Okay, let's see who wins immunity. And Phil wins immunity again.
He's like, no, now that I'm back, I'm staying. You're not getting
Exactly. I'm staying here as long as I can. Okay. Anne and Julie bond strongly. Julie and Phil find something in common. Kat is completely worn out, but is not giving up. Okay, pretty good episode here for Julie and Phil doing some social bonds. Phil winning an immunity. Okay, who goes home here?
Hmm,
Um,
really
I mean,
tough.
I could still see a Jillian boot. Whenever I feel your number two goes out, you become kind of at the mercy of the
Yeah.
major, and it's just like whenever they want to, they can just get rid of you. Um, so if they don't want to make like a huge move, they could just take out Jillian and be like, here we go, here's consensus boots. Um, I don't know who else would be maybe Nick. I could see maybe Nick, but he has an
Possibly Anne.
idol, possibly Anne. Okay. And Nick uses the hidden immunity idol on himself. Any votes cast against Nick will not count. First vote goes to Nick, does not count. Second vote goes to Nick, does not count. Third vote goes to Nick, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Nick, does not count. Fifth vote goes to Nick, does not count. Sixth vote goes to Nick, does not count. Seventh vote goes to Jillian.
Oh.
Eighth vote goes to RuPaul.
Oh no.
Ninth vote goes to RuPaul. 10th vote goes to Jillian. One vote left. And
Ah,
Jillian is
it made
idled
sense.
out. Yeah. Wow. I was finally an idol played correctly here. So Anne, Hillary, Jillian, Julie, Phil, and RuPaul voted Nick. Nick, Padma, and Probst voted Jillian, and Ben and Kat voted RuPaul.
All right. Funny. Probst was in the majority for a while, but this time he was like, nah, I'm going to, I know who's playing the idol, and I'm going to,
He
he could
did
have
the
been the
same thing.
decider.
Yeah, he did the same thing with the Anne Burrell vote, I believe. He was in the minority for that one when she played the idol.
He's
He was
voting
awesome.
right.
Yeah,
So uh,
he's in
don't
the
don't underestimate him.
yeah.
Viewers at home, there's a lot more going behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Uh, do we want to do an assessment now or do it after episode 9, part 2?
I'd say maybe not. I'd say at 9 because that's halfway.
Okay.
Well, yeah, technically it is halfway.
Hmm. Okay. 8 castaways are on the edge. They receive a clue. Chris finds an advantage for the next immunity challenge and gives it to Padma.
All right,
Okay. Does that help her win?
probably.
Unfortunately, we got to see here.
Yeah.
Padma wins immunity.
All right. So thing is, Phil has the idol, and they could try and get him out, but I don't know. I think it's a bit playable what might happen here.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to see here. Hillary and Probst bond slightly.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I mean, Nick Lachey just played that idol. I say you just take out Nick here.
Yeah, Nick or Phil, but I feel Phil might try and play his idol.
Yeah. Let's see here. Phil uses
Yeah.
his hidden immunity idol. First vote goes to Phil, does not count. Second vote goes to Phil, does not count. Third vote goes to Phil, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Phil, does not count. Fifth vote goes to
Wait,
Phil,
right?
does not count. Sixth vote goes to Nick.
Ooh.
Seventh vote goes to Nick. Eighth vote goes to RuPaul.
You leave Rue alone.
Yeah, Ru is just. Ninth vote goes to Nick.
Oh, that's already enough.
10th vote goes to RuPaul. And Nick is voted out here. Yeah. Nick plays an idol last episode to idol out Jillian. He gets idled out this episode.
Hold on. Did Ben play his extra vote?
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. He used his extra vote here, so gave him some extra power here. Um,
Oh, it didn't matter either. Well,
yeah. Well, he
he was
vote.
able to
Yeah,
split. He was able to
yeah.
split.
Well, he put both onto Phil, right?
He put one onto Phil and one onto Nick.
Well, no, he didn't. Ben voted Phil here. That's one. Ben voted Phil here.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I saw the two. Oh, my bad.
yeah. All good, all good. Okay. So
So it
yeah, the
would
double
have worked
Ben.
out in his favor had not been for Phil's idol play.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been a good move, but Phil sussed it out.
All right. So out of the nine we have, minus whomever is coming back at the finale, I'd say Jeff is playing a low-key game as we just discovered. Padma's playing a pretty good social game. Julie is playing a really good game. Anne's playing, I feel like a lot of people are playing really decent games. Phil, he's on that like, immunity streak. He's like, all right, if I'm not gonna win challenge, I'm gonna play an idol.
Yeah,
Um, there are a few quiet players, but I don't necessarily think that means that they are being goats right now.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I mean, there's a reason they keep throwing votes on Rue.
yeah,
So we'll just have to see how this
yeah.
pans out.
Yeah, if Rue ends up somehow sneaking his way over to the end, I mean, could be a dangerous person to sit at the end.
Very. It's been making
Okay.
friends.
Okay, Nick arrives on the island, edge of extinction. Nothing going on here. Who wins immunity? Julie wins immunity.
It's maybe where we lose Phil.
Yeah, I think you just take out Phil here. Ben, Cat, and Padma created an alliance.
All right.
Yeah, I think you just take out Phil. He's won two immunities. He's played an idol correctly.
And he's
And
already been voted off once. So
yeah, he's already returned to the game. Just take him out now. His resume is already full. Like, just take him out now. Okay. First vote goes to Cats. Second vote goes to Ben. Third vote goes to Phil. Fourth vote goes to Phil. Fifth vote goes to Phil.
yeah.
Sixth vote goes to Phil. And Phil is voted out in 7-1 votes.
So who was
So Rue completely left out there.
dang.
It does feel like Rue is a bit like there no one's really talking to him.
Which is weird because Julie played an
Yeah.
idol on him, and it's like, why would you do that if he wasn't like really tight with you?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe this was just like maybe Phil has another idol put a vote somewhere else so in case so Phil doesn't get the say.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but there goes Phil. Okay. Moving on here. Phil arrives on the edge. Nothing's going on here. Okay, reward challenge. Group number one is Anne, Kat, Julie, and Rue. Group number two is Ben, Hillary, Jeff, and Padma. And group number one wins reward. They win a trip to the Sabato mud pits and a feast.
Nice.
And Anne wins immunity.
Alrighty.
Okay. And Anne finds the hidden immunity idol.
All right, this is tricky because like, does she play it for someone? she is one of the few people who have played it right this season. So
Yeah. It feels like you just kind of keep it and try to maybe get to final five with it to lock yourself the final four.
yeah, yeah,
Kat and Padma find something in common. Hillary and Rue Paul bond slightly, and Anne leaves the alliance with Kat and Probst to form a new alliance with Julie and Rue.
interesting. This, oh no, I think Jeff gets blindsided here.
Yeah, that did set up that. That seemed like that was Julie essentially leaving Jeff in the dust. Okay, first vote goes to RuPaul. Second vote goes to Ben. Third vote goes to Ben. Fourth vote goes to Ben. Fifth vote goes to Rue. Sixth vote goes to Julie. Seventh vote goes to Julie. One vote left.
Ben.
And Ben Glebe is voted out. Okay. Let's see here. Anne, Hillary, Julie, and RuPaul voted Ben. Kat Probst voted Julie, and Ben and Padma voted RuPaul.
Hmm. All right.
Okay. We got two more before the finale.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting so full. What?
Jillian raises
No!
her flag to leave the game.
Why? That's so lame.
Oh,
You're so close.
you just got to survive like what? This would be like 5 or 6 more days in the game.
So stupid.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever seen like like raising the flag not during like the end of that episode. Like to have it just happen just
That's so
here.
stupid.
Uh she had like I thought a good reputation for her game, but then her raising the flag definitely I think that tarnishes it a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. RuPaul wins reward and shares it with Julie and Anne. They win a survivor picnic with wraps and wine, letters from home.
Nice.
And Padma wins her second individual immunity.
Okay.
Okay. Kat and Hillary bond slightly. Hillary and Julie find something in common. Okay, Hillary, I see you. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
And RuPaul leaves the alliance with Anne and
Why?
Julie.
You were in
He,
such a good position.
yet again, another instance of going on the reward has actually splintered a group.
Jesus.
Okay.
I think it might be Rue. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Also, look at this. We only have two guys left in this game. It's only RuPaul and Jeff Probst, and then it's all girls after that.
yeah,
Like, could we see just the female alliance of just the 5 girls sticking together and taking out the guys?
it's a possibility.
Yeah. First vote goes to Anne. Second vote goes to Probst.
Oh no.
Third vote goes to Anne. Fourth vote goes to RuPaul.
She gets at least one each time.
Fifth vote goes to RuPaul. Sixth vote goes to Probst. It's a 2-2-2 tie with one vote left. Who's going home?
No!
Oh, Jeff Probst.
It's okay.
Oh,
There's time.
dang.
You can win back in. You can win back in.
Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Anne, Hillary, and Julie voted Probst. Kat and RuPaul voted Anne, and Padma and Probst voted RuPaul.
Damn.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Last one
RuPaul is now
before.
the last guy standing, also.
Yeah.
Okay. Probst arrives on the edge of extinction. They received
Okay.
letters they wrote before the game. and no one's raising their flag. See, Jillian, if you stayed one extra time, you could have got some letters you wrote before the game. You would have seen, oh, we're about to make it.
I know it's so unfortunate.
Okay, reward challenge. Julie wins reward and shares it with Anne and Padma. Notice RuPaul is not being brought this time.
No, I think yeah, Rue's going next.
Yeah, they win a helicopter tour of the local island, followed a feast at a poolside luxury resort. Okay. And Padma wins her third individual immunity.
All right.
Okay. Hillary and RuPaul have a minor disagreements. Yeah, I think this is just RuPaul going home.
Yeah.
Okay. No one stands. First vote goes to Julie. Second vote goes to RuPaul. Third vote goes to RuPaul. Fourth vote goes to RuPaul. And RuPaul is voted out of the game.
All right.
Gets to compete for a chance to come back into the game though.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to spend that much time on the edge.
The hell's going on in my neck? I'm hearing like smacking and stuff. I don't know if they're excited of the thing they're watching or I don't know.
Got
Sometimes my
it, got it.
roommates get into it. I
Well,
saw. I'm
yeah,
sorry I distracted.
TJ, yeah, it's all good. TJ wins and will return to the game.
All right, so he could be. I don't know. Like he could totally pull, a Chris Underwood right now and just win the whole thing.
Yeah, is this making up for Jillian, his closest ally leaving?
Exactly. It
Can
could
he
be.
make
It
it?
could be.
Yeah. Okay. He transfers
Interesting.
the half idol to Julie. So Julie can kind of decide maybe you keep him, say, hey, I'll let you stay this round, but I get the idol at 5.
Maybe.
We've also seen a very strong female grouping here so far with the final 5 being all females.
Yeah, and like Anne is playing a really strong social game right now. She's pretty well positioned. Padma's a
Yeah.
beast in this. Kat's been a little silent, but still. Hillary and
Mm-hmm.
Julie have both been strategic and social threats. So it's really hard to
Yeah.
say you know, who amongst the 5 ladies will win. I feel like don't count TJ out either. He could win his way
Yeah.
out or use his social skills, but I will say it is very hard at
I
this
think
point.
he has to win this immunity for him to have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see who wins the first immunity of the finale. And Padma wins her fourth
Again.
individual immunity. And she's sharing it with Kat and Julie. They win steak and chocolate cake. What a combo.
Yeah, it rhymes. So
Yeah. Um, Terrible for TJ, as he is now getting into a major fight with Anne.
yeah, TJ's gonna get sent right back, isn't he?
He's going straight to Ponderosa. He doesn't even get to go to Edge.
No, as in like out of the game.
Yeah. I know. So yeah, it's I think a pretty straightforward vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even get a chance to flush anything. Just first vote goes to Anne.
Or not.
Second vote goes to Anne. Third vote goes to TJ. Fourth vote goes to TJ. Fifth vote goes to TJ. And TJ is voted out of the game.
So who was on the app? Cat
Was
was
it
on the app.
Cats? Cats did not no.
Hmm.
Interesting.
All right, so
Okay.
Anne makes it to Final Four because she has the idol.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I realized we didn't do a real recap at the first finale part here.
I tried summing it up a little bit, but
Yeah, but
I
let's
feel
break down each person's winning chances.
I think Anne is pretty strong. She's already guaranteed 4. So I'd
Yeah.
say that her getting to the end, I think she has a really great case or winning this
Mhm.
game. Kat's been very silent.
Yeah,
She
I think
hasn't
she's
really,
she's
yeah,
I think number 5. I think she's the lowest chance of winning.
yeah. And next up we have Hillary, where four-ish, like, it really depends on who's left and
Hmm.
how her end game is. Julie Chen, I think, has a strong chance. Though it really depends on this end game. And Padma's
Hmm.
been winning out, but can she? Thing is, do you take her out if she doesn't win the next two challenges?
Yeah, I will say I think Padma has the best chance of winning the game, but her game
Yeah,
to the end right now, like her threat level is through the roof.
yeah,
I think you got to take her out.
agreed.
Okay, immunity, and Anne wins immunity.
She can
That's, I
use that
believe, number
idol
two.
however she pleases.
Exactly. And then Joey joins the alliance of Kat and Padma.
All right, so that
This is looking like it's
leaves.
Hillary is gonna go home.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe's mom,
Honestly, she made the finale. Good enough.
but she could always use this idol.
To save Hillary.
Could be.
No, she used it to
Oh,
save Joey. Okay, well, first vote goes to Padma. Second vote goes to Kat. Third vote goes to Kat. Fourth vote goes to Hillary. Fifth vote goes to Hillary. We are tied between Hillary and Kat.
I think this is where Hillary goes because of the
Yeah,
alliance.
yeah, you got to take out Hillary here. Like Hillary, I mean, I think has more of a case at the end than Katz. Also, you just
Yeah.
gotta take her out. First vote goes to Katz. Second vote goes to Hillary. One vote left, and
Whoa.
Katz is
Okay.
taken out. Okay, interesting. Okay, that means the lowest chance of winning just went out at 5. So now we are with the 4 bigger threats.
Yeah.
And Julie voted Kat, and Padma voted Hillary, and Hillary was on the outs voting Padma. So because of that, because Hillary doesn't vote and her vote was against Padma, the original 2 to vote out Kat ends up doing it.
Yeah.
Which means Julie joining that alliance wasn't really for Kat. Maybe it was to get in with Padma, who's a dominant physical threat.
Hmm.
I don't know.
All right. Final four.
Okay, here it is. Who will win the final immunity of the season to determine how fire making will go down?
Padma.
Hillary
No.
wins immunity. Somehow we thought she was going out 5. She is now hopefully making it, then maybe she goes into fire. I don't know.
We'll
But
see.
she's at least guaranteed to have a chance. Okay.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. She grants safety to Anne, putting
Oh no.
Julie and Padma
Are we losing?
into fire.
I don't want to lose Julie though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Julie, I think Anne, Julie, and Padma all play great games that would have been great to go to the end.
Yeah.
Um, so it sucks because we are going to have to lose someone strong here, but I don't know.
It's the game.
Julie wins.
Okay.
Padma is eliminated.
All right. This may be redemption. Julie is back in the finale.
Yes.
I feel like I want her to win, but though I feel Anne has a slightly better argument.
Yeah, Anne does have a very good argument. I think does have a good social relationship with people on the jury. I think Anne had great relationships with people who made it far in the game, but her early relationships, I don't think were as strong. So we could see maybe a lot of the early jury members voting for Julie, and then a lot of the later jury members voting for Anne.
Well, I have to see.
Yeah, we also have to remember everyone except actually no, even Jillian is on the jury. This is everyone.
which is like, but she quit.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
The finalists wait for the winner to be revealed. First vote goes to Julie. Second vote goes to Anne. Third vote goes to Hillary. Fourth vote goes to Hillary. Fifth vote goes to Julie. Sixth vote goes to Julie. Seventh vote goes to Hillary. Eighth vote goes to Julie. Ninth vote goes to Hillary. 10th vote goes to Anne. 11th vote goes to Anne.
I don't have enough fingers for this.
12th vote goes to Hillary. 13th vote goes to Julie. 14th vote goes to Julie.
That cements it.
15th vote and winner in a 7-5-3 vote. Julie Chen has managed to win Survivor after being on her channel like I don't know three times or so.
Yeah, and she can finally get out of the shadow of the Snooki vote.
Exactly. She can finally claim herself as a winner. Um, and let's see who voted for her. Ben, Chris, Nick, Padma, TJ, Tyra, and Vanessa voted Julie. Whereas Kat, Michelle, Phil, Probst, and RuPaul voted Hillary, and Bobby, Jillian, and Seacrest voted Anne. So Anne did not receive a lot of respect on the jury, as Michelle wins the fan favorite. Remember
I don't know.
Michelle? Remember all of the things she did on the season?
No,
I sure don't.
no offense to the actual person, but I just
Yeah,
did.
but
Sorry.
you didn't do it's not her fault. It's just Brantsteele didn't do anything with her this season. So
Yeah,
um okay, well, this was final five women that who really I mean just look at the guys just going all out back to back to back
yeah.
to back here. Um even Jillian, who wouldn't have gone home if this idol play didn't go out, she could have potentially made it further in the game.
The thing is, here's the tricky thing with her raising the flag so close to the end. It irritates me. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah. Her whole thing is never give up, keep going, and she gave up near the end.
The irony.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we end up actually, even though there's a lot of misplayed idols, we still end up having three idols played correctly.
Yeah,
So let's see here. Padma was the most strategic, followed by Jolie, followed by RuPaul.
that makes sense. That definitely
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah. Um, and with the most idols, Padma's best challenge beast, RuPaul with 17 votes. Okay. I think that's it here. I think this was a pretty solid season, got some female domination, so
Yeah.
that's interesting. I feel like we have very few female domination seasons. Usually it's like we get like maybe two or three women who play pretty good and make it far, but it's usually pretty even. But
Yeah.
this was the first time it felt like the
In a
women were like,
while.
yeah, they were like, we're gonna own this season.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because when you look at that boot order of like all the guys in a row, obviously, so it did look pretty bleak for the ladies early on in the game
Mhm.
because, if what was it? It was basically 5 minus 13, or 5 minus 12. So like about seven guys in a row got eliminated.
Yeah,
So it's like, you know, actually, technically speaking, eight if you count TJ coming back.
yeah.
So, like, that's what kind of led to this big decimation of guys, and
Uh,
so, like, sometimes the simulation just plays out that way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's does it here. The next time you'll see our Brantsteele will be All Stars 14, I believe. I believe we're on 14 now. And yeah, I think we're gonna have a pretty good one. I think we have a few good seasons. I'm really
Oh, yeah.
thinking of us having doing maybe a Australia Survivor, maybe
That'd
a
be fun.
Total Drama Island, something a little fun to maybe add a few extra because I think we have a lot of good candidates.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode. I guess we will see you in the next one.
All right. Peace.